It's not often you see a flagship phone divide people this sharply, but the Galaxy S26 Ultra's new design is doing exactly that. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. The leaks are out, the renders are everywhere, and instead of excitement, Samsung is getting something a lot more complicated: uncertainty. And based on the latest poll, that uncertainty should probably have Samsung a little nervous. So here's what's going on. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is getting a noticeable redesign. For years, the Ultra has carried that boxy, Note-inspired look that made it instantly recognizable: sharp corners, clean edges, and a style that felt premium and purposeful. But this time, Samsung seems to be leaning towards something softer. The leaked renders show rounded corners and a visible camera island, making the Ultra look more like its smaller siblings, the standard S26 and S26 Plus. That might sound like a small shift, but here's the twist: people can't decide if they're okay with it. In a recent poll, 35.4% of voters said the new design is okay. Not great, not bad, just tolerable. And that in itself is telling. The top response isn't excitement or approval. It's basically, sure, whatever. Right behind that, though, is something Samsung really won't want to see. 33.88% of people straight up said they don't like it and think it looks cheap. That's almost the same number of people as the ones who don't mind it. Meanwhile, only 30.72% said they actually like the redesign. When you add it up, the group that dislikes it plus the group that's only willing to tolerate it is clearly bigger than the group that genuinely approves. And that's the real story here. A flagship smartphone, especially the Ultra, is supposed to set the tone for the entire lineup. It's the phone that showcases Samsung's best design thinking. But if the strongest reaction people can muster is, "It's fine, I guess," that's not exactly a win. Now, this doesn't mean the S26 Ultra is shaping up to be a disappointment overall. On the hardware side, Samsung is making some solid upgrades. The highlight is faster wired charging, 60 watts, which is basically confirmed thanks to Samsung's own charger reveal and certification listings. If you've lived with Samsung's historically slow charging speeds, this alone is going to feel like a real quality of life improvement. Qi 2 support is also expected, which means better, more consistent magnetic wireless charging across the board. There's a good chance Samsung adds satellite connectivity too, something we've seen slowly becoming a trend in high-end phones. And of course, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is rumored to power the Ultra in all regions. No Exynos Qualcomm split this time, which is something a lot of people will appreciate. Software-wise, One UI 8.5 is on deck, and Bixby is supposedly getting a meaningful upgrade. Whether that's enough to change anyone's mind about using it, that's a different conversation, but improvements are always welcome. Still, the design question lingers. Samsung isn't changing the Ultra because it had to. This isn't about solving a problem, it's about refreshing the look, keeping things modern, and creating more visual alignment across the S26 lineup. But the risk is that the Ultra could lose the identity that made it feel like the power user option. If it looks too similar to the regular models, does it still stand out as the top-tier device? That's where things get interesting. A redesign is always a gamble. Sometimes it pays off instantly, sometimes it takes a generation for people to warm up to it. And sometimes, think back to the Galaxy S20 Ultra's camera bump or the Pixel 6's visor, bold designs eventually become their own kind of iconic. But here, the reaction isn't bold excitement or sharp criticism, it's hesitation. And hesitation is dangerous. It means people aren't convinced yet. It means the design isn't communicating the Ultra's value before anyone even looks at the spec sheet. It means Samsung might need more than just hardware upgrades to win people over this year. Personally, I think Samsung can still pull this off, not because of the rounded corners or the new camera island. What matters is how the entire package comes together. If the S26 Ultra delivers a meaningful jump in everyday experience, faster charging that actually feels fast, more efficient performance, better wireless features, smarter software, then people might come around on the design naturally. We've seen that happen before. But if the redesign ends up being the most noticeable change and everything else feels incremental, then yeah, that's when this kind of mixed reaction becomes a real problem. Because a flagship shouldn't just avoid looking cheap, it should instantly feel like something people want. And right now, based on the poll, Samsung still has some convincing to do. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.